Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm TheOutbackAl,
I'm hot for justice.
And I'm Chippin' Noob.
and this week is a movie week, and we decided that let's go a little bit older school. There was a newer one last time we did it, and we watched a newer anime. Now let's watch something a little bit older, kind of influenced a lot of other things. Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
When was the first time everyone saw this? I know we were all supposed to watch it yeah, I'm sure all of us have seen it multiple times. But when do you guys remember when the first time you saw this? Because this thing's been out. I was 3 when this premiered.
A few days ago.
This is the first time you watched it?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god, really?
Okay.
Okay, I think you should take the lead on this because this is all new for you.
Oh.
Mine was a couple years ago, so.
I want to say I saw it sometime in high school. Whenever I was starting to get really into just a bunch of random stuff that I was finding, but I couldn't say for sure when the first time I saw this was.
Right.
It's been a while. Always nice to revisit though.
Yee.
So Gav, what were your thoughts? Because this is I haven't talked to someone recently who has not seen this.
Honestly, you wanna, I thought the animation and the music were really good, but I wasn't,
So good.
Yeah.
I wasn't, too much of a fan of the story.
It's a little minimalist.
Yeah, that is it.
I just think I was, I don't know if I was just confused, or if I just had, a hard time, I had a hard time, staying focused during it, to be honest. I took a nap, halfway through.
Oh, you're gonna get so much hate in the comments.
I know. I just think that it's, for me, I think also it was because I was watching, a dub, and I'm used to watching, subs. And because I have a better time processing what's going on if I can see the words on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was just listening, even though it was in English, I shouldn't have had any problems, but it's a little hard to follow it sometimes.
I'm kind of the opposite. I don't know if it's just I'm an auditory learner and I can't read as fast or something, but anytime that because this and a lot of other anime movies tend to go into heavier philosophical stuff. I cannot read the stuff fast enough to comprehend it, but whenever they're talking in English, I totally get it. I did not have a great time watching Madoka Magica Rebellion when we first saw it in sub,
Right.
and I was like, "What is happening right now?" But then I saw it in English, and they were actually speaking something that I knew. I was like, "Oh, I'm following this."
Yeah, it was it's the opposite for me, really. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. I guess I just wasn't super crazy about it. I mean, maybe too it's because it is older. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood or something when I watched it. I
The
don't.
thing is, with a lot of those mid to late 90s animes, is the fact that, they're really deep, but in a very subtle way. So you really kind of have to grasp it at, a subconscious sort of level to really even understand what's going on. And sometimes, I think the first time I watched this, it was I kind of understood what was going on, but I didn't understand everything. And I feel that if I had actually watched the anime, which I believe the anime came out after this.
You mean the series?
Yeah, the series.
Yeah,
I feel like I
Standalone
would have
Complex and Second Gig,
understood
yeah.
a little bit more of what was going on.
I agree with you because I do remember first seeing it and I was a little more enraptured by the style of it than a lot of the substance that it had going on. And whenever I watched the series, I definitely was keying into a lot more of the philosophy and some of the deeper themes that they were going with, mostly because they had a longer time to go into it and go more in depth with it. But I think it's kind of reflective just of not only anime at the time, but Japan just at the time, because I actually wanted to do a little bit of research before we actually like started talking about this, so I did actually look up some stuff like about the manga and about, you know, what kind of stuff was going on at the time, and like the manga apparently is very different tonally from this movie.
How so?
It's very upbeat, fun, and the Major is downright bubbly.
Really?
Yes, and it's
Interesting.
because it was written in the mid to late 80s in Japan, which was during a very big tech boom for them. And everything was like, it was kind of like the 80s for us, where it was like, you know, everything's great, everyone's making money, cocaine is everywhere. And then, you know, the 90s happened, the bubbles all crashed, and, you know, suddenly we're dealing with the cocaine hangover of the 80s. And that's... Yeah.
Which kind of also, like, led to animes like Serial Experiments Lain, which
Evangelion,
showed, like, the
so many
dangers of
things.
technology and the internet.
Yeah, and like just the depressive state that was kind of happening at that point. I don't want to say
Looming
depressive,
over
but it was a lot more of like a, okay, we just woke up from a fever dream sort of thing, and now we're like dealing with actual stuff again. And like I think that was reflective of like a lot of what was happening, because like again, bubbly, happy, everything's wonderful 1980s Major versus this one who's like, oh god, what if am I even human right now? And I'm like, that's a very large theme of the movie, the series, and like a lot of things that I think that were coming out at the time, because I think they were like looking at a lot more internet-based stuff, artificial intelligence stuff, robotic stuff, and like the whole. Well, I bring this up a lot, but Android's Dream of Electric Sheep stuff was like I think getting very prominent again. And it's and like I'm even seeing stuff like that today, because like I don't know if you guys like
No, I keep track of AI.
No, not that, but just thematics for television shows and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah, no, like it's making a comeback for sure.
Yeah, I saw recently, because Yin and I Yin has a subscription to DC Universe, because they love the comics and that, but oddly enough their shows are fantastic. And we've been watching Doom Patrol, which I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. But Cyborg, who is with the Doom Patrol and not the Titans for some reason.
Okay.
That's a whole. I'm not gonna get into that, but he's got a bit of a issue going on, because he's like, he remembers being human before he was a robot, but at the same time he's constantly questioning whether those are just implanted in his memory. And whether or not he was ever actually human. And he's kind of been struggling with that. And I'm like, okay, this is still relevant since... Oh, God, how old is this movie?
It's
This is like 34...
Like Ghost in the Shell,
20,
it's
4 years old.
24 years old,
34.
yeah.
What am I talking about? I'm insane.
It came out in
I can't
95.
math. Yeah, 95. It's as old as my brother. There we go. I'll just remember it that way.
It's as old as me.
It's as old as you. There you go. There you go. Gav, did you note the influence of The Matrix?
I've never seen The Matrix.
Okay, like...
I mean, I haven't either.
Why are you here? I don't...
Sorry.
I don't know what to do with you right now.
Yeah.
Put us on a boat and send us away? I don't know.
You haven't seen it either?
No.
Okay. Did you see Minority Report?
No.
You guys have seen nothing that's ever been influenced by Ghost in the Shell.
I do not come from a movie-watching family, okay?
I don't either. Not really. My parents watch Hallmark all the time now. That's not really movies. But no, this there was a lot of this among some other ones that came out in like the late 80s, early 90s, like influenced a lot of stuff that was going on. But oh god, I kind of wanted to talk about that, but I don't know if I can talk about it with you guys.
Well, you can go ahead. It might not make a lot of sense, but we can try to.
Do you guys at least know the plot of The Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know the plot of The Matrix.
I mean,
I know
they
the
definitely...
plot. I just haven't seen it.
Okay. It's still tough to talk about this then. I don't know.
I've watched enough film theory to know what's going on.
All right. You know it by proxy. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff like, you know, you can see where some of the influence was coming from with the cyberpunk esque future, the post-humanism, the plugging yourself into the back of your head
Right.
kind of thing. Like, I think they took a lot of aesthetic from it and some philosophy, though I think this one delves a little bit more into, like, there's a lot of heavier philosophy stuff in the Matrix. I just don't know. It feels a little bit on the same level as, like, Evangelion, where it's like, okay, I feel you like the aesthetic a lot more than really delving into it, especially with, like, the sequels.
Right.
That's a whole other conversation. What did you guys think of the Major? We should talk about, like, the characters. I feel like we've been, like, going on so many tangents right now. We're gonna lose so many people.
Like, I liked her. She was... I really like that whole chase scene where she's, like, going full chameleon. That was kind of, like, my
Through
favorite part.
the market?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one.
That, I think, is honestly, like, one of my favorite parts of the movie. Otherwise, I feel like... I don't know. I'm trying to think of how else to talk about it. Guys, you think of your things, but I think of my stuff.
I think she's pretty cool.
Okay. I actually like Bato the best, I think. Outside of the fact that, like, I watched the dub and he's probably the best voice actor they have.
Which one was that again?
Guy with the weird eyes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like that's how everyone knows who Bato is, just a guy with the weird eyes. Yeah, he was like, I don't know. He's usually my favorite from these because I don't know. I just relate to him a little bit more, I guess.
How so?
Well, he just seems like more of a normal person, oddly enough, despite the fact that the normal person is the other, the dude with the mullet,
Yeah.
Togasa.
Yep.
I don't know. He's just a relatable guy. And yeah, he doesn't, even though he's like almost entirely synthetic and cyberized and whatnot, and he's still like, he doesn't quite get how people get like so like into existential crises and whatnot. He's just like, dude, just live your life. Who cares if there was an answer to any of it?
Yeah.
But other than that, on the flip side of that, there's the Major, who is like in a near constant state, it almost seems, of having an existential crisis, except for those few adrenaline-filled moments where she's actually doing her job.
Yeah, where she's like, what does it mean to be human?
It is a good question, and they don't... I like that they don't entirely give you an answer, and a lot of it is up to interpretation.
Well, because, I mean, like, that's not her original body.
No, of course not.
That's her new body, but her memories have been implanted.
Yeah, and that's the whole where the ghost thing comes from. It's like, you know, and that's a question in post-humanism and what is being human. You know,
she's more of a ghost of her former self.
I'm actually going to look up what the actual term is, because they go into it a little bit more in the series about this philosophical argument of replacing parts.
Right, because the body is the shell.
Yeah.
Now, so ghosts, do they mean they're programming or like a soul? Like that
essentially
like
soul.
Your soul.
Yeah, okay, so they have an entirely synthetic body, and to run that you need a cybernetic brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, your brain is not cybernetic, so they have to copy the neurons and all the memories and stuff from your organic brain into a cybernetic one. And at that point, it's like, what is left of you that is organic? That is,
nothing.
Air quotes, human.
Well, your memories are human.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I mentioned that this was a cyborg. How do you even know that your memories are your memories? And they bring that up whenever the trash guy gets, like, got Puppet Master, and he's like, he remembers having a wife and kids. He did not. And it's like, when you really start messing with people's brains and their memories and all that sort of stuff, you really cross some lines into some crazy ideas.
People can remember things that never happened to them, and they to themselves all the time.
That's the thing about it as well. So it's like, can what is memory, and can you ever trust it? And I think that was part of what the puppet master was saying whenever he got trapped in a body, and was like, can you prove that you're human? You can't. You can't prove that any of your memories are real. You can't do any of this stuff because there's no technical proof other than that you say it is.
Mm-hmm.
But hang on, I gotta look this up. The Ship of Theseus. Right. That was, yeah. It's a thought experiment that they bring up like in standalone comp. It's either season 1 or season 2 of the anime, but it's like there was a ship, the Ship of Theseus, which was great warship in ancient Greece or something.
Yeah.
And it was in a ton of battles. Obviously, it took damage. You had to replace some parts. Eventually, so many parts of it were replaced that there was not a single piece of original boat left. And the question was then posed, is this still the Ship of Theseus, or is it an entirely different ship?
It's still his ship.
Then there was...
Ship of Theseus.
Yeah, but then they had the other then they had to, like, keep going with that argument. It's like, okay, well then what if all the old parts were then assembled together into a museum, and all the original parts were back together? Is that the Ship of Theseus, or is the one in the harbor the Ship of Theseus?
There can be two.
Or are they both the Ship of Theseus, and neither one is the... So you seem to have answers. They don't always seem to have answers in the show, and they're kind of like let yourself figure out your own conclusions. But
it's like, still the same ship. He still owns this ship. There's 2 of them.
Well, I don't know that Theseus owned the ship at that point. It was like old, and he might have been dead. But it was just the Ship of Theseus. It was just its name or whatever. And I think that's like a lot of what they're also going into whenever they're like, okay, you have an entirely cybernetic body. There's nothing of your original body left. Are you still you? And
I mean,
going off the idea that you have a ghost, yeah, you are still you. You still have your human instincts, your intuition, your soul, or whatever that is. And, listen to your ghost and all that kind of stuff. And that's, yeah. I always thought that was an interesting thought experiment when they brought it up. They don't bring it up by name in here, but I think that is definitely a part of it. Do you have any thoughts on that? Was this when you were napping?
Yeah, I mean, I went back and watched it, but it's still like the whole thing was just kind of confusing to me, to be honest.
It's like it's one of those movies that you like really need to be in the mood for like contemplation and really just want to like sit down and think for a very long time afterwards if you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, I think
that's at least what I found when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not so good at like understanding stuff that are supposed to be like, it's supposed to be kind of like deep or have some kind of like underlying meaning to it, which this makes me sound stupid, but that's like I'm better watching stuff with other people because then I can ask questions and kind of like bounce like thoughts off of with them.
Well,
so
we might
when
have to do that another time if we ever relook at Ghost in the Shell or something that's kind of heavy on philosophy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
could you repeat that, please?
I'm just not very good at understanding like philosophical like stuff, like, and it makes me sound kind of dumb, but I just kind of need to watch that kind of stuff with other people to like understand what's really going on, because I tend to like miss a bunch of like meanings behind stuff.
I don't
unless
think it
I
makes
can
you sound dumb.
unless I can like talk about it with other people. It's like I'm kind of like getting a bit more now, like talking with you guys about it.
Yeah.
Like with the whole ghost and what's it mean to actually be like human. But like when they were talking about like ghosts and stuff when I was watching it, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to, I was just kind of like, what does this mean?
Well, that's what they want you to ask.
Yeah.
So you did do it right. No, I don't think you sound dumb saying that, because like I'm gonna throw this out there. This is like my 4th or 5th time watching this movie, so I've had time to marinate on all of this stuff for a while.
Yeah, honestly, I was just enjoying the bits that were like very musical and like
Yeah, they like their long contemplative shots in this movie.
it kind of reminded me of music from like Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, and I was digging
A
that.
little bit. I'm trying to remember who did the music for this. I know Yoko Kanno did the series music, but I don't know if she did it for this.
Audio. Let's see. Composer Kenji Kawai.
Okay.
I don't know. It's good, but I wish I had more to say on it. I feel like bad that I don't.
I mean, I don't have a lot to say on it either.
What was your favorite scene?
Oh boy. I don't know. Like I liked. Probably. Oh God, I gotta think about it.
It's okay.
I liked when she was diving,
Yeah.
and then afterwards when she was having that conversation on like the boat or whatever.
Yep.
With the eye dude.
Yeah.
And we're kind of getting a little existential. Like I feel like that's the part I like was most tuned into, just because I thought it was like interesting how he was like saying, like, you're basically a cyborg, yet you can go diving and all this stuff.
Yeah, you're basically a rock, but you want to go swimming.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool. I liked that part because I was like, I just thought it was interesting because I thought the same thing as he was.
See, he's relatable. He gets it.
But yeah, there's that. I don't know, like, I liked the whole, when they were chasing after the, like, trash guys. That was fun to watch. I think it's just, like, I like watching the action-y bits, and the parts where it, like, kind of lulls, like, tends to lose me.
But you said your favorite scene was the one with the where it lulls.
Yeah, but it's, like, not too lolly.
Alright.
That's a word now.
If you say so. It's
Lolly.
not too lolly.
Yeah.
It got lolly at the end. That's a pun now.
No.
What did you guys think about that? That the fact that the Major's not a thing anymore, and she combined with the Puppet Master to create a new organism.
Yeah, that was a thing.
It was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how I feel about that. I wasn't sure about that whenever I first encountered that with this. I suppose that it would be the only way that you could reproduce as an artificial intelligence or organism. You know, the Puppet Master says he's not an artificial intelligence, but he is, basically.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, this is happening.
Yeah.
You gave up after a while, didn't you?
Listen, I have, like, executive dysfunction, so it's pretty hard for me to, like, do almost anything and pay attention anymore.
Well, I mean, the next time we do this, it should be a little bit easier. I doubt that Tokyo Mew Mew will get into too much heavy philosophy. I could be entirely wrong, though. I don't know anything about the series.
True, but I've also, like, seen that and read it before, so...
Okay.
It's just, like, doing stuff the first time. It's like, I feel like the same thing would have happened with Ergo Proxy if it weren't for the fact that my brother was watching it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, like, was talking to him the whole time we were watching it about what was happening. So it was a bit easier for me to, like, understand. And then with Devilman Crybaby, I had already seen it.
Yeah.
So, but this was just, like, brand new and philosophical, and I was just kind of like, what,
All right, so
Yeah.
moving forward, we need to watch some of these movies together. Gotcha. That's all right. I'm fine. I'm fine watching with other people.
I'll probably watch it again because I thought, like, it was really beautiful, and I'd like to, like, watch it and understand. I think it'd be easier for me if, like, after talking about it, like, a little bit like we just did, because some of the concepts were just like escaping me. Um, but I don't know, man. Maybe I was just tired. Like, it's very
possible.
hard to explain. But yeah, because it's like I really wanted to like get into it, and I did like what I like was really like focused in on. And I think after a while, I just started like dazing.
Yeah, no, you said you fell asleep, so.
Yeah.
Were you laying down and watching it?
Yeah.
That might have something to do with it.
Well, that's like one of the only ways I really watch stuff.
Mm.
I should sit and watch it at my computer next time, but
Probably. I don't know, yeah. Because I feel like there was like other. I definitely know there was like other bunch of other themes in there that we weren't really like covering. I know we mentioned a little bit post-humanism and stuff, but I think that there's also like post-gender identity and a lot of elements in there because the major really. They're female, but it's like that it really holds no weight or anything in their character. It's really almost a secondary thought, almost. So it's, and I mean, honestly, if they didn't have a chest, I mean, would you look at that character and be like, I can tell what gender that is?
No. Major, to me, seems more androgynous than anything else, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I agree, and like, and it's like and I think this was like part of a larger thing that might have been happening in the '90s, especially in anime. You had female protagonists who I guess might have been just written better or written more interesting. It wasn't like they were female and that was their only trait. And I think that was like a better trend that was coming about at the time.
I think they weren't afraid to make their female leads a badass.
Well, that's part of it, but it's also like I've seen other people write the badass female, but it's not just but that's what it is. It's the badass female. It's not just the badass. And I feel like the major is just the badass. It doesn't matter, what other character like I don't want to and that makes it sound like even more like basic, but it's not like I don't know. I felt like there were a lot of other ways that other lesser writers might have tried to define her in a way that she was not being defined as here, and that was better, and she was better because of it. I don't know. Plus, it's very different from the manga, which apparently the manga artist is a bit of a perv with her. So,
Gross.
yeah.
I did like that they like bring up stuff like in there that's like and it's almost kind of like a throwaway line, but they're like hey, remember when we thought invisibility and all this other stuff that was science fiction, now it's just real. And I'm like, how far away are we from this being real?
What year does this take place in?
Oh, I don't even remember.
I think it's 2029.
Oh god, we're only 10 years away. Are you serious?
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, 2029.
Oh god,
Cool.
that's weird. We're gonna have to come back in 10 years and see if any of this came true.
If we're
Probably
still
not.
around.
Probably.
I mean, Back to the Future was wrong.
Back to the Future
That's
was
true.
wrong.
That's true.
Escape from New York was wrong.
We did not have hologram
I
projected
think
sharks.
Terminator was wrong. God, what else? What movies weren't wrong? There's still hope for Demolition Man.
I mean,
That
the
was in
Simpsons
2036.
got it right eventually.
Oh, God. But did we want them to?
No, I think it's just irony at this point.
Yeah. Blade Runner got it wrong, too, I think. When was Blade Runner set?
I don't remember.
Oh, now I want to watch Blade Runner. Another one, Android's Dream of Electric Sheep.
You just like that theme, huh?
It's a really good thing to explore. Oh my god, this is the year of Blade Runner.
Is it?
Yes, 2019.
Wow.
Still don't have no fucking flying cars.
I mean, self-driving cars are a thing now.
I don't like that. That scares me.
Whoop-de-doo. I want a flying car. I want a hoverboard. I want a jetpack. I want to fly.
I want a hoverboard.
Right?
Just get me my flying car that can drive itself.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want something to take me places. I want to be able to go to the beach and then come home and sleep in a day.
Sleep
That's
on the
why
ride there.
I want teleportation. Give
Oh
it
yeah,
to
that'd
me.
be the easiest thing.
Yeah, no.
That would make things so much
easier.
Don't like the idea of teleportation? Are
Basically
you worried that...
they're gonna have to take you apart all bit by bit, and then there's one that reassembles another place. That's not gonna be you.
So you're worried that it's just going to create a clone of you and the real you is going to get vaporized?
Yes.
Okay, that's a legitimate
No,
fear. How do you feel about wormholes?
I don't believe that shit. I know how cloning works.
You don't
Well,
believe
no,
that
it's
shit?
just the fact that it takes whatever parts you had, and it's like it vaporizes your entire body. But the thing is like, that's how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to completely take you apart in order to put you back together somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not like open up a hole, you go through said hole,
But that's
and
a
you end
wormhole.
up out the other
That's
side.
different.
Yeah. No, that's different.
I'm down for wormholes.
Yeah.
As long as they're
that's
not part of
basically
a
what
black
I mean.
hole.
That's not part of a black hole. It's part of a wormhole. We're not creating a singularity. We're just creating an Einstein-Rosen bridge
Well, then we
through
have
which we will travel from one point to another.
Well, then we need a white hole.
Yeah.
That's basically things that spit things out.
Yeah. We're going to
No,
go
we
in
should
one
have
hole, and we're going to come out another hole.
We should have a podcast on us talking about this kind of stuff.
We're idiots, though. We don't know science. Well, some of you might know science. I don't know science.
I know biology. That's all I know.
I know a bunch of stuff through nerd osmosis, and that's it.
I know genetics.
Well, none of this helps us for a quantum physics discussion.
No.
Ugh, we're not even getting into time travel yet. That's a whole other thing.
Don't open that can of worms. Not now.
Yeah.
We'll open that can of worms when we talk about Madoka.
Or Steins Gate. I don't know.
Or that
Maybe. Who knows? Anyway. Anything else? Any final thoughts on this? I feel
Nope,
like there was a
not
ton of
really.
tangents going on this one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, I think I did it way more than you did.
It happens.
Yeah, I still like this movie. I think if you guys want to watch it, Gav, if you need to watch it again, I'll watch it with you and we'll have a discussion.
All
I'll slap you awake a few times.
Okay. Oh no, it's just so peaceful.
It is pretty peaceful. But yeah. Alright, so Tokyo Mew Mew next week, 1 through 4.
Yay!
We'll see how that all is for me. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.